Alright, this might work. Dan. Alright, mate. Can you hear me? Alright, this might work. Dan. Let me know if you can hear me. Alright, mate. Can you hear me? Alright, this might work. Dan. Let me know if you can hear me. Alright, mate. Can you hear me? Alright, this might work. Catapult intro. Let me know if you can hear me, mate. Dan. Let me know if you can hear me. Alright, mate. Can you hear me? Alright, this might work. Catapult intro. Let me know if you can hear me, mate. Dan. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Alright, this might work. Catapult intro. Let me know if you can hear me, mate. Dan. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Alright, this. Hang on a bit. All right, can you hear me now with no feedback? I'll explain what's happening in a minute. It ain't my fucking fault. YouTube are cunts, basically. They've just updated everything. And when they update it, like they always do, it fucks up, right? Yeah. All right, Cal Paul. Thanks, mate. So it's working all right, yeah? All good, Bill. All right, man. All right. Well, it's been a while. I thought I'd do another one. People have been emailing me saying they want to... they want my input. They want my words of wisdom and darkness again to come along and save them all. So I thought I'd oblige and give you an update. All right. Tell you how the world is and how it isn't and all that shit. All right. First of all, let's explain what's going on with this, going on with YouTube. I haven't done it for ages, so whenever you don't live stream for ages, you have to re-input all your keys and all that shit into it. That took forever. And for some reason, YouTube have updated their live broadcasting dashboard, and now it doesn't fucking work. I couldn't see any chat. So what I had to do was open a different browser, because I have loads of different browsers because I'm Dodge, right? And then I had to watch my own video as if I was a third-party viewer, but then I forgot to mute it. So it was looping background through my audio software into my XSplit broadcaster. Fuck it, it's interesting, isn't it? That's what was happening. So there you go. All right. Throughout this video, if I sound like if there's any words I say that sound Australian, please point them out to me immediately, because I'm trying not to lose my accent. All right, because that's a real that'd be a shame, because it's the best accent. All right, and all the other ones are shit. So there you go. All right, so today we're going to talk about a load of different things. Today's almost going to be like the umbrella video for the next coming week, because I've got loads of topics, mate. Loads of topics to talk about. Loads of things that I've been doing that I haven't said about online or I've hinted at, all right? So we're going to go through my new mountain bike, mountain biking, yeah? Mountain bike, all right, Alistair. Mountain biking in general. Upgrades. You're going to help me upgrade my fucking bike, all right? Because I've got thousands of dollars to spend on this, yeah? We're talking about woodworking. We're talking about spending loads and loads of money on tools, power tools, right? Building shit I've built, shit I'm going to build. Running, all right? Because I got into running. We're talking about trainers being a rip-off and how I've found the best trainers in the world, all right? That cost me $15. We're talking about whatever you want, really. Yeah, all right. So first of all, we'll probably go, what do you want to talk about first? All right, let me know. What do you want to talk about first? This is my new house, by the way. Another new house I'm in. All right. With me, a woman and two cats. One cat is a woman as well. And they fight for my attention. They claim they don't, but they do. And the cat is worse than the human woman. She's a real bitch. A real fucking bitch. Roadies turn into MTB. All right, all right, Alice. That's a good topic, and it's one that I know a lot about, mate. Know a lot about, and it's one that I can talk for fucking hours on, right? So we will do that first year. Why are roadies turning to MTB? Right. Let me go back into my cycling history. Let's go back through the mists of time. All right. My first proper bike was a Marin Bobcat Trail. Right. That's a mountain bike. It was a hardtail. Wasn't just hardtail. It was a hard front and rear. Right. He had a kind of titanium paint job on a high tensile steel frame. Nice. With Alivio gears and some green forks with Marin going down the front of them. All right, in a font that was, I believe, looking back, a rounded Helvetica. Pretty good. Thinking back, it was probably quite shit. But I got that when I was 13, 14. And that was it. I was like, yes, fucking mountain biking, right? That was cool. And where I lived was brilliant for mountain biking, Hertfordshire, right? I'd never even considered a road bike because road bikes back then were shit. And it was, I don't know, whatever. Then I progressed through mountain biking. I started racing and doing all that sort of shit. And I had a specialised rockhopper with Marzocchi bombers and XT ears and all that shit, right? You know all that. I've bored you with that loads of times. So the start of me was mountain biking. Then I got into BMX because it was cool when I lived in the city. That was all right. But thinking back, I was shit at BMX, right? Compared to mountain biking. I should have just stuck with mountain biking, but I was just in the city all the time being a junkie. So I thought, fuck it, BMX is the one that's cheap as well, right? Then I stopped for ages, and then I got into road, and I got into road when I was about 29. And I did road for 10 years, right? Road was fucking good. But there comes a time in your life when you need to go back. You need to go back, and you need to go back to where you started, and you need to realise who you are. You need to realise what it's all about. And you also don't like fucking shitting yourself constantly when there's cars come up behind you. And it turns out Australia is fucking awful for road cycling. Japan's the best country in the world to ride a road bike in, I reckon. Absolutely the best. Yeah, because there's perfectly tarmacked mountains with no cars on them all over the place. Australia is fucking shit for road cycling. I don't know why anyone does it here. They must be. If you had only ridden a road bike in Australia, I don't know why you would do it for more than a year. It's fucking awful. The roads are not set up for it, right? There's a frontier nation with everyone just burning around in cars. The angriest drivers I've ever experienced. Uneducated drivers in terms of how they deal with cyclists. Even in the city, it's crap. City road surfaces are dreadful. Rubbish. You can't ride from A to B in Australia without hitting a really hardcore fire road, which is not just a gravel road. It's like fucking corrugated gravel. Horrific, right? Good for a mountain bike though, right? So I decided after a bit, I was like, look. I tried road bike. I tried road cycling. I tried road cycling in Australia. I tried my fucking best. I got some comms and all that shit, right? But it's just every time I left the house, I was just thinking, fucking hell, I'm gonna get killed, right? And obviously, I'm quite ghostly on a bike. I'm pretty fucking quick, and I'm good, right? Even that wasn't enough because, all right, George, all right, Atue Prima Tupa, if that's how you say your name, all right. Got to the point where I just wasn't the shitting myself factor just overpowered any training and all that sort of stuff. I just couldn't be bothered with it. And in Japan you can plan a route where you can go 250k from you leave your house, get on the river really quick. You go up onto the rivers and you ride up through to the edge of civilization kind of, and then you hit the mountains and you cane it up through the mountains for 150, 200k back round down on the river. And the only little bit of road you got to do, apart from the little road you do up here through the mountain villages, which are deserted, right, are the little tiny 6-7 kilometers from the river back home again when you're fucking knackered and you've had an amazing time, and you can almost just go, right, I don't care, get on the path, just like bang along and get home and you're safe, right? Australia, no. All roads are that 7 kilometre bit, just constantly. You can't even do it. Bogans galore, you're fucking awful. Right. I've met some really nice Australian people, but on the whole, man, fucking hell. Like you can't, if you get in a tussle with the Japanese, if you get a bit of a, if you encounter in a negative way, should we say, a Japanese driver, here's how an argument with a stranger in Japan will go generally. And the more I live away from Japan, the more I appreciate how they are, right? An argument with a stranger in Japan when there's been some sort of bomb conflict and you both think you're right at first goes like this. You're riding along, there's a car, they come past you too fast, or you cut in front of them, go around a corner and they have to brake a bit. They'll say something out the window, or they'll just be like, what the fuck? You'll say what the fuck back, and you're both, because it's busy in Japan, there's traffic lights everywhere, you'll probably come to a stop together at some point, or there'll be some interaction continued. From there, you'll look at each other, there'll be a bit of like, fucking hell, mate, what's that? And then they'll look at you and say something like, well, come on, man, you cut in front of me a bit there. But they won't be like fucking getting a knife out and saying you're a fucking cunt, all this sort of stuff, without any consideration of without any inward observation of their own participation in the theatre of events, right? I think you know what I'm getting at, right? So anyway, in Japan, it will usually calm down quite quick, and you look at each other and go, all right, well, fucking hell, look, one of us was wrong, or we were both wrong, or one of us was right. I hope you have a nice day. Yeah, let's just fucking be cool. And sometimes you might even make a friend. I once nearly got fucking fully killed by a gigantic bin lorry going through the streets of Kasakabe in Japan, if you know where that is, little cute place. He came past me really, really fucking close. I don't even think he was looking. And the roads there are narrow. He came past me real fucking close. I pulled out, shouted at him, said, fucking hell, come on, what? Pulled up beside him, looked up at his window, said, mate, you nearly fucking killed me there. And he said, well, you shouldn't be on the road. I was like, well, hang on a minute. I'm allowed on the road. You should have gone round me, all right? And he looked at me and he went, all right. I was like, all right, well, okay, man, well, look, I don't want to sit here bollocking you because I'm not I'm not your dad, but whatever. Anyway, he was all right. We rode down the road together, stopped. Yeah, he got out of his truck to pull in more bins. I was like, fucking, it's a bit hot today, ain't it, mate? He was like, yeah. Anyway, we started talking and he was all right. Anyway, and I met him a few days later in a supermarket and we had a chat and laughed. It turns out he wasn't watching. And he said sorry and we were all mates and it's all right. I saw him quite a bit then. It was no worries. Let's compare that to Australia. Well, if an Australian comes past you in a car, generally speaking, and they come past too close or they cut you up or anything and you shout at them, they absolutely will never admit fault ever. And they'll scream at you and they'll call you a cunt. They'll call you this, that, bam, bam, straight away. They'll go hard. And they might even get out of the car and try and have a fight with you because they just consider themselves to be right about everything all the fucking time. I don't know what it is about. It's very odd, right? Not all of them. Obviously, I've met some all right ones. But on the whole, it's like that day in, day out when you're on the roads here, riding your bike, on a road bike. So it got to the point where when I first got here, I had a few encounters and I sort of tried to put them down to me not knowing the lay of the land and shit. But the more I got to know it, the more I realised, hang on, it actually is like that all over the fucking place. And this is just too dodge. And I just couldn't be fucked with it. So I thought, well, I want to keep riding my bike. What should I do? What can I do? And I thought I could get into mountain biking, but it had been like 22 years or whatever since I've ridden a mountain bike. And I thought, well, I stupidly thought they were all giant, cringy, downhill monsters with 25 feet of travel on the front and rear that, slightly fat blokes would ride down a hill and then get a ski lift back up to the top again and ride down again and have a flat brimmed cap with Monster Energy on it. And they'd put their bikes in the back of a big truck and drive around like watching like dirt bike jumping, crushes him as dirt videos and like drink beers and stuff like that and be like the lads. I thought it was all that nowadays, right? But then I thought, hang on a minute, there must be a cross-country scene. Started investigating it. Turns out cross-country was the one. I bought myself a cross-country bike. There you go. End of that. All right. So, yeah. I think, getting back to Alistair Lovett's question or his rhetorical, why are roadies turning to mountain bike? I think it's because what I've highlighted. Road cycling sort of peaked in terms of the market. 2011, 2012, 2013. All right. And since then it's been on a decline. So I think the sheer number of people doing it probably peaked in 2013. The guys who really wanted to stick with it because they got fit or they liked it or they just, they're newcomers or whatever, or they just loved riding a bike or whatever. I think everyone after a while realised how fucking dangerous it is on the roads. But they enjoyed the sheer fitness of it and they wanted something else to do. So I think that a lot of road cyclists are now turning to cross-country mountain bike, especially the conversations I've had in bike shops as well. Seems that mountain bike sales, here in particular, are well outstripping road bike sales. It's even, especially at the high end as well, like high-end mountain bikes and stuff. Yeah. Dieter, you did hear the word shitting. Yeah. Dieter and I live together in a house still. The amount of poo that is not like that. We're not like that. All right, but the amount of poo that's involved in the relationship is quite high, but not like that. All right, it's never going to be like that. Okay, all right. Ipsor, right? Road is so much more elegant than mountain bike, right? It's Yeah, it's all right, Dieter. 7 minutes later, I was waffling about fucking robots. I was waffling about your spastic countrymen. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was waffling about your fellow convicts. You make my life slightly harder than it necessarily needs to be on a daily fucking basis. That's why. All right. Men are slow. Dell. All right. Slow what? Anyway, is road more elegant than mountain bike? I used to think that, right? But since I've got this this cross country bike, which I'll be talking about later, I think that I've seen a couple of guys riding through the woods on their cross country bikes who are fast. Guys that hang on, that's another thing as well. It's hard to find people who are really fast on their bikes, on their mountain bikes, which maybe why you think that. But I've seen some guys who are quick riding through the woods on their light XC mountain bikes who are very elegant, right? Very elegant. And really slick and great through the turns, right? And when I saw them wending their way, flying through the woods, right, like some sort of phantom, that was very elegant. Really good. So I think that the elegance and power of road, it's probably more obvious to see it on road, but I think that if you are really good on a cross-country bike, it can be really, really slick and smooth, and that's what I'm aiming at, right? When I figured out how to go around a fucking corner without gashing my leg up on a tree, which I'll get into later. Rafa hasn't got their elegant claws into mountain bike yet. No, they haven't. Where I go riding, I'm the only one who turns up. I still just wear my road gear, right? I turn up wearing Lycra and I've got a cross-country bike and everyone just looks at me like I'm, I don't know, some sort of fruity ballerina. Maybe I am a fruity ballerina deep down. Yeah. Mountain bikes are not aesthetically pleasing. The big downhill ones are not. They're cringe, right? The big downhill ones are just fucking... I don't like that at all, right? I don't like the scene, though. Just as I think I just don't like anything, right? But just as I found the whole coffee shop Rafa, let's all talk about you know, let's all talk like we're reviewing things in what hi-fi bullshit of road. I think that I equally hate the whole sort of downhill Monster Energy, monster truck, you know, full sleeve tattoo, flat cap, kind of white man wearing American hip hop clothes shit. All right, that you get in full suspension downhill mountain biking. I think that is cross country untainted, or am I going to find things I hate in cross country? Yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about? I fucking lost the plot. Come back to Japan, then you whinging pom. I mean, I could, right? But you don't get, you don't get kangaroos in Japan. Plus, for the price that we're paying, the price of this house here, I'd have to for the size of this house here, I'd have to own all of the bitcoins in the world to be able to afford something of a similar size. So probably not, mate. Yeah. What are we saying then? Fat, oh, yeah, all right. Fat 50-year-old men splashing mud. Yeah, I've seen way more fatties riding mountain bikes than... I've seen way more fatties riding mountain bikes than on road. Yeah, way more. Oh, Evo rides. Oh, yeah. You've changed your name, mate. I was trying to think. Yeah. I've seen some wild boring scuba. Yeah, I've seen them up in Tochigi as well. I've seen some of your rides into Tochigi, man. You've been venturing into there as well, right? It's mental up there, isn't it? Those climbs are so big up there. Yeah. I think there's just something sad in general about 50-year-old men who are fat spending fuckloads of money on something that is too good for them in general, isn't there? It used to be like the guy that those guys would be the same ones buying fucking well expensive golf clubs, right? Or buying, I don't know, like buying themselves a 22-year-old girlfriend. You know, I think there's just something sad about 50. I think 50-year-old fat blokes are sort of quite. Whatever you apply them to becomes hilarious. They're brilliant. Well, hang on, Dieter. Right, I was gonna finish that. I was gonna say I have seen more fatties on their bikes having a laugh in the middle of the nowhere, but right, those same middle-aged fat blokes who are having a laugh are also the same guys who are really fucking friendly to me. Way more friendly than any crew of roadies has ever been, right? Like I was stopped in the woods the other day, fiddling my bike. Some guy went past, skidded to a halt, came back and said, "You're right, mate. Do you want to use my Allen key to fix your bike?" No one's ever done that on road, right? And another guy I was talking to, we became mates for about half an hour as we were just burning around the woods and that. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I was only laughing at their the inappropriateness of their equipment. In relationship to their current level of fitness, should we say? I'm sure they could grow into it, grow down, thin into it. Yeah, they could thin into their bikes. Maybe they won't, but whatever. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, so that's my next comment then. Something that let's do a list of things that I like about cross country mountain biking so far, right? Most people on mountain bikes, right, are fucking way friendlier than the road lot. Generally, right? Way friendlier, yeah, and more just sort of like out for they don't. A lot of the roadies, David Copperfield. I think that's fucking true as well. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, well, okay, but that probably ties in well with my next point. A lot of the road guys think they're something they're not. Or they talk a good game, they talk a fight, you know, but without any sense of humour, right? They're humourless. The mountain bike lot are sort of the opposite. They don't care, right? They're just out for a laugh. we'll get onto e-bikes in a minute, e-mountain bikes and how they're interesting. E-mountain bikes, as much as I hate them, I'll tell you what, right? It's like having a motor. It's like having motor pacing. Fucking, it's got your own crew of like slightly chubby motor pacers to belt you around the woods, man. Trying to keep up with e-bikes. Not even trying, mate. Every time I keep up with an e-bike, which is every single time I encounter one, off road is fucking good training, all right? Because they just keep going up and up and up. Yeah. That's the next thing as well. To a prima tupa. Being in the middle of the woods is way more pleasing than breathing exhaust fumes from cars. Absolutely. The best times I had on my road bike, and I'm sure Evo rides can attest to this because I've been with him on a few of them, right? Has been when it's away, you get away from the towns in Japan and you're up into the real fucking wilderness with the monkeys who come and attack you. And essentially, I mean, that is mountain biking in its realist sense, isn't it? Riding a bike up an actual fucking mountain away from everyone, whether you're off-road or on-road. Mountain biking, getting way, way away from everyone, away from the cars, in the middle of the countryside, in the middle of the wilderness, is way better than being around cars, definitely. I never understood the whole single speed fixie, let's ride around the middle of the town thing. I think that was just a showing off thing, wasn't it? Because that seems antithesis to what having a bike is about, and it like getting away from fucking everything, everyone, burning around. In Japan, it's like wild boar, deer, monkeys. I've seen all fucking sorts. Bears. If you go deep over the back of Nikko and places like that, you see some mad shit. And across to like Mount Akagi, Eva Rise knows all about this. There you get some wildlife there. Here, it's coming around a corner on a mountain bike, quick, and then there's a kangaroo just like fucking there, mate. Right, and your head goes in its pouch. That's what happens here. It's a good laugh. Alice, I love it. Cycling is an escape from the day to day. I think it is. I think that, yeah, it is. You just get away from it. Yeah. Get away from everything, mate. It's good and light until you get a mechanical and you're like, fuck, and then you start thinking about your day to day, like thinking, I now have to buy an entirely new group set because this thing just went tink once, you know? Yeah. Doing mountain biking means you can do emergency shit at a moment's notice. You don't need to find a pole to hold on to. It's true. And when Dita says pole, she means a pole, not a Polish man, to hold your hand while you, because you know, you've had that much fucking curry the night before and Polish vodka from some really cheap corner shop, holding onto the hand of did you hear that? She's loving my gag. Holding onto the hand of a Polish man like that, just, and he's up there going, "You okay, brother?" I think that's how they're talking it. And you're just like, "I'm nearly done, mate." And he's holding your hand. He's like, "This is weird, but this is what we do in Poland, man. We just support our fellow man even in his darkest hour." Yeah. I haven't had a shit when I've been out. I haven't had a shit yet when I've been out mountain biking because where I go is quite a popular track. I think that it would you'd have to be doing a very quick shit out there to be able to get away with that. I might try it next time I go. Yeah. Ipso, you'd love some more in-depth product reviews. Well, I've been buying some shit. Shall I tell you what I've bought recently that you don't know about? What have I bought recently? Sorry for keep wobbling my desk as well, making this wobble. Oh God, Speed Play was shit. Speed Play is shit. I was out the other day on my bike thinking about this because currently I'm riding flat pedals on my cross country mountain bike. One, because of my foot and spine issue, and two, because I don't trust myself yet with a pair of XTR pedals on that fucking thing. Because there's been some, I think I'm too fast. I'm too fit for my skill level on my cross country bike. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to say I'm way too fucking fit and strong for how technically capable I am yet. So I came off. Well, I didn't came off. I had to put my foot down quite seriously and nearly sort of ripped my nut off of the side of my body, right? With the yankage, going up a fucking hill, going round a corner up a hill 2 days ago. I was going that fucking hard. David Copperfield had a nice poo on his Christmas Eve ride. Yeah. I'll tell you what, David, you describe that in detail and I'll do a reading. All right? Yeah. Anyway, speed player fucking shit. I was out on my bike the other day, 2 days ago, riding, and I was thinking, fuck speed player shit. It was just, I was so annoyed. I was thinking, they've designed this little tiny thing like a lollipop. That's the pedal. That's fine. But you got to attach a fucking sofa to the bottom of your shoes to be able to engage into said lollipop, right? Why don't you make the lollipop bit a bit bigger and don't have a fucking wooden pallet screwed to the bottom, or like a dinner tray with a hole cut in it, plastic dinner tray screwed to the bottom of your shoe, you spacker, that you can't walk around in. And then if you walk around in it, you just crunch it to fuck. Ridiculous. The Shimano way is the best way. All right. Dita says I never put her on a ride anymore because as soon as you're as soon as you put on your kit to leave the house. All right. Look, I've worked out that the best cure for constipation in the world is not medicine. It's not stomach massage, gassage. It's not drinking a really large coffee, although that does help. It is putting on a cycling kit. Now, even if someone who doesn't ride a bike puts on a cycling kit and they've had a week of really bad constipation, they'll instantly shit the kit. All right. I think doctors should prescribe just a mid-range, not even a Rafa, just a mid-range pair of cycling shorts and a jersey. So the patient will be going to the doctor's office and say, look, I'm really embarrassed. I've got a really embarrassing problem, doctor. I can't go to the toilet. Whenever I do it, it's really hard, and no matter nothing I eat, my mother prescribed prunes and stuff, like a really mad old British wives' tale thing, and someone suggested I shove my finger up my arse. I've tried both of those. I even got my mother to shove her finger up my arse to try and kill two birds with one stone, and that didn't work, right? What can I do? And the doctor said, look, there's this new holistic approach that this guy on YouTube has invented. It might seem weird, but it's going to cost you, it could cost you up to about £1,000 if you want to really, really not embarrass yourself in the coffee shop. But probably, if you spend, at the moment, the NHS doesn't really have the budget for Rafa, but we can prescribe you a DHB kit, cycling kit. Cycling kit? Yeah, you're going to have to just trust me on this, all right? Just please try it out, okay? I'll put your prescription down for a DHB cycling kit. You take that to Wiggle, and you get it on the NHS. It's on our shite at work scheme, all right? So anyway, they get their prescription from Wiggle, and it takes 30 seconds to arrive. Weirdly, yeah. Their stomach they're like, they haven't been out of shit for fucking weeks. They don't know what's going on. Anyway, they unwrap this kit, and it's sort of worryingly. They're like, this is not as good as that stuff that those sexy boys ride, that Rafa stuff, and it certainly doesn't smell like Rafa. But I'll try it. They slide it on, then that feels a bit. God, what's going on? Oh, fucking hell, I better find a toilet. Anyway, I put the jersey on, and it doesn't really fit very well around the arms, but all of a sudden, they're just fucking, that's it, they shit themselves, right? Comes out like a baseball bat, and like really fucking crowns their bumhole like that, and then just flops out, and then the kit's ruined, but because it's DHB, it's fine. They just stick it in a wash, not even in a delicates bag. And then they can ride it again just on training rides, just in the morning, their morning commute, their morning poo mute. Yeah, that's the one. I think that's right, Alistair. I think that we NHS now has 350 million to spend on Rafa. Yeah, I think that's right, Alistair. I think that obviously this was just an accidental discovery of mine that putting on a cycling kit makes you need a shit really fucking weirdly, even if you've just had a shit. Right? There's been times when I don't know if it's like I'm scared to put a mirror in my bathroom, in my toilet, because it's weird to look yourself in the eye when you're having a shit. But I think that if I did put a mirror in the toilet, and then I had my kit on, I took my kit off to have a shit, put my kit back on after the shit, caught a look at myself in the mirror, saw myself in the kit, I'd need a shit again. It would just keep going. Maybe a good way to lose weight. You could probably shit out about 10 kilograms of body weight. You could just keep going. Right? Fuck, I'm funny. You can hear a laugh in the background, mate. I'm fucking funny today. Yeah. All right. So anyway, that's it. Evo rides. What's this stack height thing? Oh yeah, we'll get back to speed play. They have a low stack height. Yeah. Well, that is true. They do have a low stack height, because I think that the hole in the dinner tray that you have to screw to the bottom of your shoe goes all the way through to the base. So the stack height is low, but I'd rather have 2 mil more stack height and not have to spend $300 replacing my cleats every fucking 10 weeks, right? You know? Anyway, so that's it. Let's get back to talk about what I've bought recently. What have I bought recently? Oh yeah, I got into running, right? How long have we going for? Only half an hour. I decided to get into running, right? Mainly because I've never really been into running. And I thought I could try this and then I could get really good at it. So I set myself a target of doing a half marathon. I just went out, started running. It was all right. I bought some stuff and I felt I was ashamed to advertise that I bought this stuff. I bought a Garmin running watch that cost me about $150. And I bought some in-ear Sennheiser Bluetooth, what do you call it, earphones, which are all right. Yeah, and I linked it to my phone. And Dieter bought me a pair of Lululemon running shorts and a Lululemon running t-shirt. And I just went fucking nuts. Started doing 5Ks, then 10Ks, eventually worked way up to a half marathon in about 3 weeks. Since I'm a half marathon, I then started going down a bit to like 10K runs and stuff. That was all right. Running's good. And then, I haven't been running for a bit. So I bought a Garmin Forerunner, which I could review if you wanted me to. If you want me to review a Garmin Forerunner watch, I'll do so. What else have I bought? I bought a set of Sennheiser CX something in-ear earphones. I will review those as well if you want me to. Altoona, mate. Hello. MM, all right. Running thing's great, and I do a compliment to the bike. Yeah, I started running, and it turns out I was actually fucking decent at it, right? My first ever run, I did, I hadn't been running for a bit, but my first run I ever did, I was keeping a, 4 minutes, 20 seconds pace over 10K, which turns out is actually not too bad, right? I eventually managed to do, I think, I did 5K in 20 minutes, 10K in 42 minutes, and I did a half marathon in 1 hour and 40, I think, something like that. 1 hour and 45. Oh yeah, I just fucking. And I'll tell you what, right? Do you know what kept me going? Do you know what made me run that fast? Right? Foghorn drum and bass. The John B. Foghorn Friday. Yeah. On Twitch, I used to just listen to fucking foghorns. Yeah. Foghorn drum and bass. It turns out Foghorn drum and bass has got the best. It's got the optimum tempo and the optimum amount of Robert Pattinson murdering a fucking seagull. Right, vibes to it to keep you running and doing half marathons really fucking quick. Yeah, I didn't even get injured. The side of my knee hurt a bit, but yeah, whatever, man. Turns out I was quite good at running. Slav Vivek, is that how I say your name? Zizek. Slag Vivek is a dubstep producer. Sorry, that's why I thought it was that. Slav Zizek. Hello, mate. Greetings from Budapest. Right, Budapest is the right laugh. Yeah, nice to hear from you in Budapest, mate. Yeah. Yeah, if Ronald Kuba, he'd make himself an ambassador of it, wouldn't he? Yeah. Let's get back to David Copperfield's. David Copperfield, your name for some reason is hang on a minute. Altoona, what are you talking about? Slav Zizek is a communist, mate. Well, are you starting a fight with our friend Slav here, Altoona? Because don't, all right. Slav, if Altoona's annoying you, let me know. Right, let's get back to David Copperfield. David Copperfield, you sound like a Dickensian novel. All right. Okay. All right. So Altoona. All right. So you just pointed out that his username is that of a communist. All right. Cool. All right. Fair enough. All right. Just don't fight amongst yourselves because it's very fucking silly. All right. Anyway, fuck me. Stop fighting amongst yourselves. I need to scroll back up to get David Copperfield's story. David Copperfield, you remind me of a Dickensian novel. All right. Anyway, so we're gonna now read David Copperfield's shit-smeared Dickensian work. Okay. So David Copperfield says he found a nice hedge, carefully removed his bib shorts, then slipped out a pair of perfect viscosity logs. Nice. Quick wipe with pre-packed velvet toilet paper and back pressing the pedals. You carry velvet toilet paper with you in your back pocket of your cycling shorts. That's good. The method that I have used is generally like a water bottle held at the correct angle and distance from my bumhole, and then a blast of water and like that. Yeah, that's what I've done. But I think that carrying toilet paper would be better, wouldn't it? Yeah. All right. That's good, Dave. That's good. Yeah. Bryant. Hello, Bryant. He's a Slav writer, is he? Okay. All right. Velvet toilet paper. If you were Japanese style, that's right. Yeah. I've told you about the shit I had in America as well. That was pretty mental. Johnny, all right. How's it going? Joe, find a good leaf. Yeah, good. Yeah, or not a nettle, unless you're a bit like that, you know. Anyway, what was I going to say? If you are really, Calpol intro. Yeah, Slovenia is textbook Slav. It is. Yeah, it is. Slovenia. I know a fucking nutter from Slovenia. All right. Maybe I'll do an entire video about him one day. Anyway, Rafa should make their own pre-ride shit toilet paper. Yeah, but what they should do is they should make it out of all of the Rafa garments, the thousands of Rafa garments that I've returned to them over the years because I've worn them out and I've made them replace with their warranty. They should cut little squares out of all the TDI sweated and melted Rafa gear, and then they can hand it out to people as single sheets of TDI pre-owned, pre-sweated Rafa toilet paper they can wipe across their bumholes and fannies. That way, right? That way. Depends which way you're standing. Don't wipe poo into your fanny if you're a woman. There you go. That's my tip for the day. Unless you're into that. All right. Yeah, and then, Eva Ride says, and then the probably they could be taken to court because they need to because it's based on the original product, isn't it? The material comes from. The toilet paper itself should have a lifetime warranty even when it's shitted. So people are going to turn up in Rafa and just say, look, this is covered in shit, but you have to give me a new one. Yeah. You can make a really gritty Rafa advert for toilet paper, a load of bearded men on a grim day. Yeah, all of them like just fucked after a Polish man holding their hands like this, like them bent over like that, going with some sort of Rafa armband on there in poo brown, right? Or just like a poo. Someone's got a poo and just smeared it around an arm of their thing, and they're holding onto a Polish man's hand like that, like some sort of Renaissance piece of art like that, some oil painting, and they just like that, and then it just says like Rafa. Yeah. It's good to be back, guys. Really, it's good to be back. I feel that we've jogged back into business as usual quite easily. Yeah. All right. What else have I bought? So I bought that running watch. That was all right. Bought them earphones. I bought a load of woodworking tools, which I'll probably get into. Right. Yeah, some sort of like ground in wood chips. Yeah, merino wool toilet paper. Yeah, bought a lot of woodworking tools. Bought some power tools. Oh yeah, bought I went shopping today. Bought a fucking torque wrench, mate. Bought a torque wrench that goes down to 2 Newton meters. All right, 2 Newton meters. Turns out, right, that here's another difference between mountain biking and road biking. Everyone goes on about, oh, you need to use a torque wrench on road bike. I reckon torque wrenches are way fucking more important on mountain bikes, because you've actually got to do things up properly on a mountain bike, because it gets rattled loose to fuck. As I found out, my rear through axle rattled loose, and my wheel was going halfway through the woods. Did it up. Which one? Here's another annoying thing about Australia. There's nothing in stock at the moment, and there's nothing in stock ever, because one, there's no one who rides bikes here really in the grand scheme of things. There's only 30 million Aussies, and of those, like 5 of them are, yeah, Dita's telling you, she knows. 5 of them ride bikes, and of those who are riding bikes, 1 of them buys tools. So no one fucking stocks anything. So I was toying up between I didn't want a digital torque wrench, I just wanted a manual one, because I fucking don't use them enough to be digital and be that worrying about it. So I was toying up between a Giant one and a Shimano one, right? And I looked at it, and me and the lad in the shop worked out that they were both pretty much identical tools, probably made in the same factory. So I went for the cheaper one, which was the Giant one, unsurprisingly, $110. And it was a 2 Newton meters up to 20 Newton meters. And I got with a 1/2 inch socket, and I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mil hex, and a 10 and a 25 Torx. I needed 20 Torx as well. All right. And I've gone over my bike and done everything up properly, right? And it turns out I was pretty good, apart from the rear axle, which I'd slightly overtightened, not too bad, but slightly. Because I was shit myself, it had come undone again. But I checked it, I haven't fucked it. It's not like hilariously tight. But yeah, so that's what I bought today. How exciting. Made in Japan Makita. Well, no, made in China Makita. Because made in Japan Makita is not available in Australia. Right? And probably most of their stuff isn't made in China now, isn't it? The Japanese saws, though, are fucking mental. Right? Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I've been buying the what do you call it, battery powered one, 5 volt Makita battery. Yeah, Evo Rise, I know what you mean, but the bike specific tools are, keep away from bike specific tools wherever possible. You mean, do you mean something like a bike company who's branded themselves a torque wrench, or are you talking about bike specific tools, in tools that are for a bicycle specific task? Because we can't keep away from tools that are for a bicycle specific task, because we'd have no other way to achieve the goal, right? For example, a spoke tension meter for a bike is going to have to be that, isn't it? Clarify. So which mountain bike did I buy? All right. Let's talk about my mountain bike if you want, lads and lady. All right. We've got 10 more minutes before I go, because all this talk of bike kit has made me need a shit. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, torque wrenches. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. My proper torque wrench that is for actual, like, 50 Newton meters and above and all that is not a bike branded one. Yeah. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah. Just get a proper torque wrench by a proper tool company. Yeah, I fully agree with you, mate. But it was something I'm going to use once every few months, once. So I was like, fuck it. But yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And I agree. The bike I bought then. Right. I can go into how much detail do you want? Before I get into the bike, what bike I bought, how much detail do you want? And we'll know how much I'm going to bore you with it. All right. Let me know how much detail you want from this description of my new rig. While I wait for your answers, I'll tell you what it is. All of it. All right, all of it. All right. Okay, so I decided on a cross-country bike, right? Because I was like, I don't want to get a downhill bike because whatever. All right. Cross country. So I looked at the available cross countries. I was toying between a hardtail and a full suspension, but it turns out, so whatever you do, whenever you buy a new bike or whenever you want to get into buying a bike of a new discipline, here's what I do. I just look at what the pros are riding, right? Because that's their main job, isn't it? The pros, to advertise the top of the range bikes. So I was looking at what the pros riding. I was like, all right, who's the world champion? And obviously I'd never heard of any of these fuckers, right? Male or female riders. Turns out it's just, it's the same as road, right? There's the same companies really, with a few exceptions. Specialized, Trek, Scott, and all that. They just make all the mountain bike frames, right? So I was like, all right, who's the world champion? Who's the world champion? This guy called Nino Shooter, I think his name is. Correct my pronunciation. He was riding a Scott Spark. So I looked at that. That looked pretty fucking cool. And then I looked at some other guys as well. And there's a specialized Epic frame, Epic one as well, which looked pretty rad. All right. So then when I was living in Japan, whatever product I wanted to get, right, whichever one it was, whichever shirt, all right, cheers, mate. Whichever product it was, I could look on the internet and say, right, there's that thing that has been made, and I just go, da, 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 boom, right, okay, I can get that in 3 seconds in Japan, or like a few days max, right? Even from abroad, it seems like the companies that were really eager to get things to you, get things into Japan, because the market's so big and so mature and so good to be on the good side of, right? And there's so many Japanese people who buy the top of the line shit, right? And they expect the perfect service. So anything in Japan I wanted, I could get immediately. So I started looking at all these frames, and I narrowed it down to ones that I wanted. And then I thought, hang on a minute. Do I miss Japan? I miss certain aspects of Japan. I think overall I don't. I think overall I'm over it. I'm over it, but I absolutely respect it and love it. And anyway. So I thought, hang on a minute. Nothing's fucking available in Australia, right? So I got the frames. I got the bikes that I wanted to check out and look at, which was the Specialized. It was a Trek Super Caliber, right? Anything that has the word caliber in it. I know what caliber means. It means like, of a certain quality and all that sort of thing. But caliber is just this cheap lager in the UK. And it's just, whenever I see caliber on stuff, it just makes me laugh. Used to have, what's his name? Scottish comedian, Billy Connolly, advertising it, right? So whenever I see that, it makes me laugh. So that the Trek Specialized and a Scott. Turns out the only one that was really available was the Scott, right? And I thought, hang on a minute, right, if the world champion's riding this, it's going to be pretty good. And then I looked around other people as well, and it turns out that had been won. It's like the most winningest frame and all that shit, whatever fucking new English they'd invented for that. So I thought, all right. So when I had a look at it, and I actually originally decided to get into cross-country mountain biking last year, middle of last year, not middle, sort of coming up to summer last year, right? So I went to the bike shop and I tried one out, but they only had a small. Now, sizing on mountain biking is totally different to road. I know exactly what size I'm on a road bike, right? And I know how to choose the frame and the stem and the seat and the crank length on a road like that, right? But on a mountain bike, it's totally different. Like you can't, it's all, the size that you think that you would put someone on isn't right. And like there's bar width and length and reach, and there's all these other fucking things. And then like people ride dropper seats and all that crap. It's like, there's loads more to it, right? Or at least it's different. So I didn't know whether I needed a small or a medium, because on road I would edge towards a small frame and have a really long stem and a long seat post and just ride it really kind of dropped and fast. But it turns out it's not so like that on mountain. So I ended up not being able to get the frame size I wanted, which was a medium, right? A medium Scott Spark RC, which is the RC, could be like remote control, I don't know what it fucking is, race comp, yeah, really cool, yeah, all that. So I had to wait, and then I waited, and then I just sort of forgot about it, and that's when I got into running. And then all of a sudden, up pops on Facebook some Australian bike shop, an advert for an Australian bike shop saying, we've got the new Scott Spark in, right? And it was like this sort of sparkly black, midnight blue, black colour, right? So I was thinking, fuck yeah. Went down there, checked it out, it was good. Decided I wanted to get into I just needed to buy the frame, to get the frame, and I could change the parts to be whatever I wanted, right? So I bought it. So actually the one I got was the Scott Spark RC Team 900, which comes with SRAM GX gears, which is like the equivalent of Shimano 105, I suppose, right? And some basic stuff on it. Very nice fork though, right? Fox 34 step cast thingy, right? And on the left hand side it's got a shifter, and the right hand side it's got a suspension lockout 3-stage. So like it's open, half open, locked, right? And I tell you what, that fucking suspension lockout, I use it, I would say, more than the gears, right? Not even exaggerating, right? Not even more than the gears. I use it more, not even exaggerating, just click, click like that. It's crazy. Really good. So yeah, I bought it, and that's what I got. I'm now about to start upgrading it, all right? The current upgrades I've been thinking about are, so I was, obviously, in my head, I divide upgrades into 3 sections. There's the wheels, group set, and then all the other shit, right? So upgrades at the moment it's just got aluminium seat post, aluminium bars, aluminium stem, SRAM GX, and some like average Syncross wheels, right? So I've already decided on what wheels I'm going to get, and I've got a quote from them, right? And it won't be fucking tune. I'll tell you that much. S-Baxter, it won't be fucking tune. Yeah. I've decided what group set I'm going to get, which, that's going to fucking shock you. That is going to fucking shock you. All right. And the next thing I need to do is ask you lot to help me decide on the seat post, stem, bars, and possibly brakes as well. All right. So we'll talk through the bike as it is. All right. Focusing on the frame box. Fucking hell, man. That stuff is shit. I've seen a box chain snap, right, from just pedaling forward. Yeah. Box. Fucking hell. Cocks, more like. Yeah. Anyway, so what was I saying? The frame is pretty nice, right? It took a bit of getting used to, because it's very different to riding a road bike, right? The rear shock as well is a Fox shock, which is pretty good. I thought Fox wouldn't be that good, right? And I always wanted to go. I always thought I should get RockShox Sid, but those Fox forks up front, those 34 SCs are fucking mint, man. They just glide over stuff. I don't know how they could be better, so I'm just going to stick with them, right? I think if you got SIDs, they would take off 200 grams weight, but whatever, fucking whatever. So I'm sticking with them. The frame's really good, really smooth, fast, goes around corners really well. I think that I'm nowhere near technically good enough to really appreciate it or give any fucking thing approaching a review at the moment, right? But my initial impressions as a non-mountain biker at the moment who's fit is that it's really good and fast and just seems to flow over everything. And I think that I'm going to keep it for quite a long time, the frame, and see how hard I can thrash it. Everything seems good. Stand over height's nice. Nothing like cracks into my nuts when I stand over it. Length seems good. All that sort of stuff. All right. So anyway, the wheel set I've ordered, well, I've got a quote for, is the following. Now, as you know, on road, I have had DT. No, I haven't. I've had shit hubs from the likes of Novatech and all that lot, right? I've also had Tune, which I would never buy again, and Extralight. Now, Extralight do mountain bike hubs, but they're 6-bolt, right? And I wanted to get center lock because then I can use Shimano rotors, right? So I decided to get some DT 180s with a 54 tooth ratchet upgrade and center lock, right? Sapim CX Ray spokes and a Farsports 30mm wide and 28 deep, I think, rim, carbon, asymmetrical, and tubeless, of course. Tubeless, right? Turns out, this is my first experience of tubeless. Fucking well good, mate. I clattered it. I've like the clang the fucking wheel made once when I went over something and hit a rock. I mean, I'd be lying to say I haven't dinged my rim, right? Fucking hell, man. The clack that made was, it sent shivers through my ancestors, right? No puncture. Absolutely brilliant. Just carried on going, man. Tubeless on mountain bike is fucking ace, right? CX Ray spokes. Those wheels have a claimed weight, all in, of 1,280 grams, which is pretty fucking good for a set of mountain bike wheels like that. Right, 28 hole front and rear. All right. Rotors, I'll get XTR rotors for it. And then I reckon matching XTR brakes as well. Well, at the moment, on that thing has got SLX brakes. Now, obviously I'm going to go for fucking XTR, right? But those SLX brakes are bloody good. And I think it would just be like the snazziness of the lever, really, that would be where the difference is. What I'm saying is not new, is it? Everyone on the internet has said this, but I think that in winter, if I'm wearing gloves, an SLX lever or an XTR lever ain't gonna be that much difference. Plus, when you're shitting yourself going down a fucking hill like that, going like, you don't give a fuck what brakes are as long as they're stopping you, right? So anyway, the Shimano brakes are bloody nice, so I'm going to stick with them, I reckon. Gears, though, right now with the wheels, I can get an XD driver or an XTR driver on that thing. It comes with both to swap out, right? So I can change group setters at any point. I honestly think, right? No, I haven't seen any Pete talk videos because I'm not a fan of his, am I? Because we won't get into it. But yeah, yeah, I reckon, given how rough and ready and how much your gears bang around, I'm probably going to go XX1 AXS access, however it is, first, right? Because I really like digital gears, right? And Dura Ace Di2 has been like so fucking cool, man, for so many years. Going back to cable gears has been a bit of a bastard, right? And I know that currently XTR is really good, but I can't see. I just want digital gears, especially as I don't know. I just want to be able to press a button and forget it. And it seems that the gear changing is so like it's way more aggressive on mountain biking. So I wanted to have digital gears like a fanny, right? And it turns out that this range of XTR, the 9100s, is only mechanical, right? And I don't know when the new XTR is going to come out, right? It might, if I buy the XTR range now that's available now. I mean, it came out in 2018, and it hasn't changed, right? Next week they might fucking come out with a new one, and I'll be stuck with these old XTR gears that are mechanical. So then if I wanted to upgrade to their new digital one, I have to just completely get rid of a load of stuff. Whereas the XX1 Axis stuff, they seem to be sort of upgrading it with, they keep adding parts and expandability to the range a bit, which, you know, as loath as I am to say, it seems that SRAM is much better at mountain biking than they are at road, right? And the fact that there's no front mech involved in this, in the proceedings as well, means makes it probably a bit easier for them to not be fucking shit. All right. So I reckon that XX1 Axis will be the one I'm going to get. All right. First of all, plus the cassette and chain comes in this like reflective rainbow color as well, which is like fucking me, mate. Well into it. But and it's light as fuck. And another thing as well. With the SRAM crank, it's way easier to get a power meter than it is for an XTR crank. It seems like the XTR crank is like, there's hardly anyone doing power meters for it. And if it is, they're well expensive. But it seems that the SRAM crank and SRAM in mountain biking in general is sort of more embedded in mountain biking, that there's more offerings for power meters for SRAM cranks. Excuse me, just burping. Yeah. Plus, exactly, Evo and David. David says, get some Daramel THM stuff. Yeah, I mean, I could do, mate, but then I'll just I'll pedal across a rock and hit the edge of the rock, and I'll snap the fucking end of the crank off, and then that'll be game over. That's the other thing as well. Mountain biking's way harder on your bike than road in terms of like unpredictable shit that can happen. So SRAM have got this built-in punch damage, like sideways impact release clutch thing, which seems cool. Seems a bit more sort of sturdy built. I've sort of settled in my head that Shimano is the one to go for road, but SRAM is a consideration for mountain biking, and it seems to be well developed for mountain biking. Fuck, I used to have SRAM grip shifts back in the day as well. Anyway, I mean, I appear to have changed my tune, but I think that it's more sensible to do this at the moment. Anyway, but yeah, as Eva Rise says, yes, Shimano seems to just sort of, they present their complete offering, they go silent for 3 years, and they present the next offering, then they go silent for 3 years with nothing in between. And at the moment, that XTR 9100 group is, God, it's right on the edge of 3 years, right? Coming up for more, right? It should have been out already, and it hasn't. So if they spring it on us as soon as I've spent $3,000 or $4,000 Aussie dollars on a group set, I'll be fucking well annoyed. Whereas it seems like SRAM are a bit more public about their development, and also seem to upgrade. They have like, they'll do a major release and then they'll do little bits into that as well. Like they've just added their 520% range system. They've upgraded that like the late last year and all that shit. I'm never going to get in look pedals, mate. Yeah, that's the other thing as well. I did think, hang on a minute, I'm going to be getting XTR pedals at some point. So I'm going to be putting XTR pedals on a fucking SRAM group set, which is horrendous, isn't it? Oh, what have I become? What have I become? Dropper posts. Let's get on to dropper posts as well. I can't be fucked with them, man. I reckon I'm just going to ride a normal seat post, right? I'm just going to ride a normal seat post. I don't care. Like, just dropper posts. I've already got too much to think about with locking out suspension and changing gear. That would be mental. I'll have a shifter, suspension lockout, and a dropper post thing, right? That's too much, mate. That's too much. That's too much. Yeah, I suppose I could just take the seat off and just use the dropper post to go up and down my arse, in and out of my bumhole. Me and Dieter saw something fucking nuts yesterday. We saw a $500 sex toy that was like a pneumatic drill. Absolutely mental, right? Absolutely mental. What did I watch last night? I watched Twilight, the film Twilight, and it was fucking rubbish, right? Robert Pattinson, it was never on my radar. I didn't know who he was, but then I watched The Lighthouse, right? And in that, he's really good because he gets a seagull, right? A seagull really annoys him, so rightly so. He grabs the seagull. He's losing his mind a bit. He grabs a seagull and just fucking thrashes it on this rock until the seagull is just like fucking dissolved, and it's just like an empty, like just a sheet of fleshy blood and bone with feathers all out of it. There's nothing left. He's like that for fucking. Then he gets off with an old man, and then he's carrying the old man's poo and wee down onto a cliff, and then throws it off the cliff, and then it flies back in his face. So that's Robert Pattinson's. Robert Pattinson doesn't need to make any more films. Yeah, that was good. So I then became interested in Robert Pattinson because of the seagull, old man getting off, and then scat. So then we watched Twilight. It's not as good. It's not as good as Lighthouse. It's not as good as The Lighthouse. Yeah. It's not as good. Twilight, though, didn't make any sense. And I think that if it was real, then there'd be some sort of intervention for both of them, and they'd be both taken away and put into some sort of psychiatric care. It seems very odd, very weird. It's like two inpatients running through a fantasy with each other for 2 hours and 1 minute as well. Fucking hell. Does anyone else here think that films go on for too long? 90 minutes is fine, right? A 90-minute, I think all films should legally be 90 minutes because then you know where you are, right? You think, right, fucking hell. Because if you know where the end, if you know how long it's going to be and you're hating every minute of it, you know that, okay, fine, it's going to come to the end. I know when it's going to end, I'm going to be all right. Whereas if you're loving it, you think, that's annoying, it's going to come to the end. So you sort of like it more because you know that you're counting down to the end. It's like, it's almost like knowing the day you're going to die. If you're really hating your life, you can just go, well, I'm going to die on this date here, so I'll just fucking man it out or woman it out until the end. But if I'm really loving my life, then I know that I'm going to die here, then I'll make every moment count. So knowing when the end of a film is, knowing if it was exactly 90 minutes, you could enjoy it or deal with it both ways, right? Nowadays, some films go on for fucking 4 hours. Who wants to sit through that? Not me. No one does, right? I can't do anything for more than 20 minutes, right? Without thinking, come on, what's next? All right, 4 hours, why? No, there's no story that can't be, there's no story that's done in the standard formation of all films, right? The standard narrative process that cannot be done in 90 minutes and have everything said that you need to. It's like most pop songs are 3 minutes long, right? Because that's the perfect length. All right. Anyway, you get my point. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Have I spoken about Darcy? Let me know if I've mentioned Darcy on here before. We're going to end this. We're going to end this now. We've been doing it for 1 hour and 15 minutes. We're going to talk about Well, Del, yeah, prog rockers do disagree, but prog rock is not pop, is it? Right? That's you fucking told. Have we spoken about Darcy on here before? Let me know. We probably haven't. I'll talk about Darcy. One, Darcy's a bitch, as Dita Carlita correctly points out. Darcy's a bitch. She's also a cat, right? She's 8 years old. 7? Is she 7 or 8? Which makes her about 55 years old. So she's the oldest woman in this house by quite a margin, all right? She's a real bitch. She's a flirt, right? She's a real slag as well, right? Unashamed flirting with the men of the house, all right? And she attacks the men of the house as well. And I'll tell you what, right? When you look at her, she's really pretty, really lovely and beautiful, and her fur looks nice. Go anywhere near her, though, and you think, the fuck is that smell? It smells like seaweed that's been coughed up by a particularly phlegmy whale and has then been woven into a hay bale that's been left in a compost heap and has gone rotten. That's what she smells like. So I'm confused. I love her, but I'm nauseated by her. All right. I think on that note, I'm going to leave it. Oh yeah, fuck. All women, here we go. This probably is going to get me banned from YouTube. All women involved in pet foster care are narcissistic personality disorder psychopaths. That is a quote from Dita Carlita, who is a woman. I also agree with it 100%. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. Next live stream, which will probably be tomorrow or something, we're going to get into more detail about, we'll probably talk about woodworking tools if you want. We'll get into woodworking if you want. Or we'll talk about something else. And then we are going to, you're going to help me do some online shopping if you want. All right. So that's